Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I just saw The Damned, directed by Theodore Paulson and starring Odessa Young. Now, before I get into this film, this unfortunately may be the last video that you see of me on TikTok. Because if everything comes to fruition as we expect it to in the next few days, TikTok will effectively be defunct and we just won't be able to access it anymore. So with that, I hope that you guys are willing and able to switch over to some other platforms and see what I have to say on there. You can find me at Bane's Film Reviews on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. You can find me on X and Twitter, or whatever the heck you want to call it today, at Bane's Film Review. And then if you want to see my written reviews, you can go to banesfilmreviews.com. So again, I hope that you guys are willing and able to follow me over on those socials and those platforms. But anyway, The Damned. So The Damned is a film that I knew basically nothing about. I find out just a couple hours before because I checked on IMDb that this is a psychological horror thriller sort of thing, which is about all I knew. About fishermen living in 19th century Iceland and just struggling through a really harsh winter with not a lot of food. I'm going to start with the good, and then I'm going to end with the bad, because unfortunately I think that the bad just outshines the good in this case. So the visuals are spectacular. This like delectable white silky blanket of snow that covers the majority of the set throughout is just stunning. It's breathtaking. I was absolutely enamored by this aspect of the film. I don't know why this film was written to take place in Iceland. It's where it's also filmed, but I don't know why this is the setting. But I love this about the film. I love that we get this bright, this absolutely stellar and beautiful and captivating and enveloping blanket of snow throughout that juxtaposes the very dark antagonists that you don't really figure out who or what they are until the very end of the film. You only get these dark shadow-like figures that play very well with this white background, and again, they play really well together, and I think that this is the best part of the film. It gives you chills because it's so representative of something cold, but it's also almost heartwarming because of the fact that it just provided me a sense of nostalgia, playing in the snow and spending time with my friends and my grandfather in the snow, and there was something very touching with that, and I think that's what this team was going for. I don't think that just happened to apply to me. I think that that's something that will apply to a wider audience. And I think that that's what the team behind The Damned was attempting to accomplish, and I think that they did that very, very well. In addition to it being able to juxtapose the dark figures throughout the entirety of the film, it allows them to pop in a way that makes them a little more endearing as antagonists. With that, they're not great. I was sort of excited with what I was seeing for the majority of the film. It sort of existed what I felt like in the same vein as John Carpenter's The Thing, where you don't see this antagonist. It's a shadow, yeah, you get some physical representation, which is a little different than Carpenter's The Thing, but the physical representations, even though you get glimpses of facial features, they're effectively faceless, they are nameless, they are not in any way meant to connect with you on a personal or emotional level. They are just these entities to a degree that exist and help to drive the plot forward and help to dive into that psychological aspect of the film. But at the very end of the film, you find that there is something very different, something that we had been missing throughout the entirety of the film up to that point. And I feel like that in that instant, that sort of suspense and that aspect of the horror was stolen from the film. Furthermore, the characters aren't useless, but they're never developed. It's a small cast with a really good opportunity for this team to develop them quickly, but it's such a short film that they don't take time to do that, and I understand. But with that, I didn't feel the suspense that they were trying to achieve in this film because I didn't ever feel an emotional or personal connection to these characters. The only character played by Odessa Young, who I don't even know her name because that's how little I cared about them. She's the only character that's sort of developed. She is the lead, but everyone else is sort of just there. They're supporting to a degree. You need a team here. It can't just be one character. It needed to be this group, this ensemble cast. But I didn't care about them. They didn't do anything to make me interested in them or to really care what happened to them. And I felt that the film was unable to develop suspense as a result of that. Really, and I hate to say this about films, I almost feel like it's never fair to say this, but it's true in this case. I found this film boring. I nodded off twice in the theater. That's never a good thing. I nodded off twice in the theater. I'm not very tired right now. I don't remember being very tired when I sat down in the theater, which means that it bored me to sleep. Twice. It moves quickly. Again, the whole film with credits are only an hour and 29 minutes. But nothing really happens. Not until the last, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes of the film does anything really happen and we get any answers. And I was okay with no answers. I was okay with a lot of this being left up to our imaginations, it being some entity or some spirit or whatever the heck it was meant to be. I was okay with it being that and us not getting information. But everything happens at the end. We're not really given anything at all within the characters, and they don't develop, and I didn't care about them, and ultimately this film was very, very slow. As fast as it was equally slow, which seems like that's not quite right, but that's 100% what happened here. This film didn't appeal to me. I was really, really excited for this film, and its only saving grace was the aesthetic. It was that pairing of black and white, the white snow with the dark shadows. That works beautifully. I absolutely loved that. I needed more of that, and there is a ton of it. But I think I would have rather just had aerial shots of Iceland instead of seeing these characters and their story. That doesn't really develop at all anyway. So with that, I'm really disappointed in this film. I'm actually really disappointed that this is probably going to be the last thing that I review on TikTok. But The Damned, even with the beauty within the aesthetic, I'm going to give this film a 5 out of 10. I don't think you need to watch this. I didn't feel that it racked my brain whatsoever. I didn't feel that it really made me think. It just sort of existed. And, yeah. So I would say until next time, but who knows? Maybe there won't be a next time. But, again, I really hope that you guys follow me on other socials and other platforms at Baines Film Reviews, and check out my website at bainesfilmreviews.com. I love that you guys follow me on here. I genuinely appreciate it. So I look forward to seeing you guys somewhere else. Peace.